So yeah, you
What's happening in the business world? Because I try to order some shoes. You know, my order aholic. I like to order and order and order. I thought the tariffs wasn't there anymore. This is business. Remember, we're talking about business and wealth and food. The groceries so expensive, and I'm trying to buy a pair of shoes, and it says you have to include the tariff in it before you can get the pair of shoes. So, $75 pair of shoes is now going to cost you $85 or $95. What's going on? I thought there wasn't supposed to be any tariffs right now.
I've been a little bit confused about that. There's been a lot of stuff going back and forth with different countries and certain things. So from my understanding, I don't want to misspeak. I think some countries, they have worked out the tariffs, and others, they kind of got a reprieve and they're going to revisit it. And so it's kind of moving all over the place. But I mean, what's happening is what everybody knew was going to happen is when you put a tariff on something, ultimately it ends up that the consumer ends up paying it. Either your product or service is important enough that we need it anyway, and so we just got to pay it regardless if the price is higher. Or if you don't have an essential product, I'm sure that the upside of that is there's some companies that are just going under because people are like, you know what? I kind of liked your product as a novelty, but if I got to, add another 20% or 30% to give, I don't know if I wanted that much.
Thank you, Janet, for showing up. Janet Allen is watching on Facebook. Thank you. Can you like and share? And if there's any questions or any comments, can you please type it in so we can address you? And welcome to the Wealth Code Unlocked. This is Dr. Huey, the Tax Diva, and Aaron Card, the Money Guy. We help small businesses. We even had a great person last week.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Thomas.
Christopher Thomas.
Yes, Christopher Thomas, CEO of INMM Group. Big shout out. He was a wonderful guest, and he does a lot in the community. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We look forward to hosting you again in the future at some point. Definitely look forward to that. On this show. This week, I know there was a couple things we wanted to hit on. I definitely wanted to talk about. We talked about the freedom of speech a little bit, but also big news. You had some big news that you wanted to share. You were sharing. That was actually on the agenda last week. Some big news at the IRS. What's going on over there?
The taxpayer alerts and scam warning. Like I tell everybody, even the PPP, there was somebody arrested from DeKalb County. She had a business. She didn't have a business, but she got PPP loan. People, be careful of how you listen to people on social media. Be careful. You may, like I tell everybody, when someone say, "Oh, my tax professional got me back $9,000," I say, I've gotten people back $19,000. So $9,000 is the ramification is, what if the computer for that year ding you? Are you okay? Everybody wants the quick money now, but with quick things come consequences. The IRS is warning taxpayers about increased fraudulent scheme circulating on social media that promotes the misuse of tax credit. Tax credit are things that if you don't have solar in your home, you shouldn't be claiming solar credit. You understand? Solar credit is for people that have solar. If you don't have an EV vehicle, you shouldn't be claiming EV vehicle credit, but most of these tax professionals, you have them doing. And if you look at the bottom line, sometimes they don't even sign the taxes. They may have you initially in front of you, but once you walk away and they'll say, "Oh, the taxes is sent out," they can retrieve it once you're gone and have you as the tax person. I have people say, "Oh, I have friends that work here." I'm not going to put names out. I don't care where your friends are working at, even if they work at the IRS or the White House, you have to have integrity. And I tell people, integrity. You're going to get that $5,000 today. But when those interest and fees come from you 2 years from now, or they go back and they trigger audit and they go back 2-3 years, then who's going to be standing with the shitty end of the stick? They always said that.
Sure.
Right.
And the other part of it too, though, the professionals got to know just to tell these customers no sometimes.
Right.
And the customers, you got to know, like you said, "Oh, what is this credit here? Oh, this is for solar panels. I don't have no solar panels." Okay, so well, then you obviously should not be claiming the credit.
Mhm.
Your EV credit. You should not be claiming the credit if you don't have an
Mhm.
EV. So people need to stop being just so greedy, man, because it's not worth it. The thing is with these financial situations,
Right.
whenever you're dealing with the federal government, whenever you're dealing with a financial situation
Right.
where there could potentially be some type of legal ramification, those things, they don't come right away. It's not like serving a murder
No.
warrant. They
No.
don't come find you ASAP like that.
They
It,
build a case.
they will do that. They'll build a case for sure.
Right.
But even after they build the case, the backlog is kind of long.
Mhm.
So you might feel like, everything's good. You haven't heard nothing. You think everything's all right. You done changed it up. But, it's like 3 to 5 years or, what I'm saying, like to get to some of those things. So it's just not even worth it, all for an extra couple $1,000s on your tax return.
Mhm.
And then for the next however many years you got to be stressed out and worried about that. Like, I mean, make it make sense. Like, let's just, this show, The Wealth Code Unlocked, is about wealth and health and all those things. So it's
Mental health is part of the wealth.
It is. And I think that is damaging to your mental health to be stressed out just so you can get an extra $2,000 or something on your tax return. When we probably could have figured out an easy way for you to do that. You can get your life insurance license and you can write one policy in a year and you probably can make $2,000, So I mean, come on, people. We gotta be better about that.
Bake some cookies, start your own business, and you'll be able to write off some of those expenses. So, like he's saying, that $2,000. Remember, anything over, I think it's like $500 or $600. It's federal. It's not a misdemeanor. It's a felony. So when you're putting yourself in jeopardy for $500, $600, $700, $800 extra on your taxes, that you didn't even, it wasn't even for you anyway. So as part of the National Preparedness Month, the IRS is urging individuals and business to prepare for a peak disaster season. Because remember, we have the BBB, the Big Beautiful Bill. So a lot of things are changing. So when you go to your tax professional, ask question, do you know what the new changes are? Ask question. Don't just, I'm going to get me a refund. The child tax care credit is higher this year. So if you have kids, you'll see a little bit more money. Overtime is not on federal, overtime is on state. So if you get the federal part of you paying for the overtime, the state, you still have to pay the taxes on the state part.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about this, a lot of this was tied to those ERC claims, the employee retention credit.
Right.
So people were doing all this stuff. So fake W-2s, false payroll, all kind of stuff. But it ended up in some big indictments, man. People are getting locked up, catching big cases over this stuff. And the likely result for us on Main Street is going to be tougher audits for the average business owner. They're going to scrutinize everybody more because of this. It's going to take longer to get our refunds, and the audits are going to be tougher. So, in the long run, you're not helping anybody out, including yourself, in doing that. And I mean, just to be honest, this hurts. I mean, this hurts the honest business owner, and that's why ethics matter. That's why doing the right thing in business is important. So I'd rather get rich slow than get indicted fast any day.
Okay, and a news for 2026: the IRS will not be mailing out any more paper checks. The IRS will not be mailing out any more paper checks. The fraud is too high. So that means you're going to have to clean up your credit to be able to open up bank accounts, because the IRS they're losing money. They are paying 80, 90 cents to mail out a letter to you for you to get a check. And then it's intersected by people that's stealing, especially if it's the elderly. They're stealing their checks and they're not getting, because I have some clients, they're elderly and they don't want to put in a bank account.
Sure.
They want a check mailed out, but there's alternative. Like when you do taxes with me, you can get a card. You can get a Visa card, or I can issue the check directly from me. So there's options. How do you feel about them not mailing out paper checks anymore, Aaron?
Well, I'm honestly surprised that you can get paper checks as long as we were able to, because for direct deposits, for a lot of the Social Security and other things like that, they required people to go to a direct deposit a long time ago. So I'm surprised that tax returns were able to kind of hang out there that long. But I guess it's because it deals with such a large segment of the population. So the elderly and things like that, may not really be
Tech savvy.
comfortable with direct deposit and all the rest of that. They're old school. They want to go deposit it, but it's a tremendous risk, because one thing that we would see with the tax checks, and we also would see it with payroll checks, which is why I encourage business owners to use a payroll service where your account number is not going to be on that check. Because what we would see happen is people would go to cash their check. And so these people would hang out in front of these check cashing places and they say, hey, excuse me, oh, you're going to cash your paycheck? Hey, listen, I'll give you $100. Can I take a copy of your check?
What?
Yes. So the employee's kind of thinking like, okay, you big dummy, I'm about to go cash this check, but you're going to give me $100 to take a picture of my paycheck from Car Consulting? Okay. The employee's not thinking that they just compromised all of your account information.
Right.
These people are going to go back and they're going to make a payroll check that looks similar to your check. Right. They're going to go circulate it in the area where your employees are cashing checks so they can pass those checks through. And similar things are happening with the IRS and you know what I'm saying, with those checks. So definitely understand that. So
another thing, age 65 and older, the IRS has published a fact sheet detailing a new temporary deduction for seniors age 65 and older. So there's some breaks out there from the big beautiful bill, and the credit will be from 2025 through 2028. So the IRS already provided guidelines on several energy credit and deduction from one big beautiful bill act that are set to expire. I know the solar energy credit will most likely be gone. So that's one thing.
And what about I didn't mean to cut you off, but what about the tax credit for the subsidized healthcare policies? A lot of people bought policies through the subsidies. And I know that, there's some, I don't know, there's some legislation coming up where that might expire and it could expect us to see higher rates. Have you been following that or heard any of that?
I talked to Georgia Access today, and your insurance can still be subsidized. It hasn't been into effect yet that they're going to cut anything, but that also goes on how much you make. If you have dependent, what is your job? What is the amount you have once you pay all your expenses, what you're taking home versus what you make. So they are having ways to make sure, you can keep some money in your pocket. We don't know yet because we're still waiting on a lot of the softwares, and software don't go through the change until November. They do a run through. So the run through or the push through, if you have any old taxes over 2021, they will not be able to e-file it. You're going to have to mail it. And like Aaron said, your stuff will sit there for 6, 7, 8, 9 months. So whatever you have right now, any 2022 taxes, please call me or call your tax professional to have them done, because after October 31st, they have to be mailed in. So if you expect a return, you will not get the return from 2021. They may send it or they may not send it. And I see a lot of people afraid of doing their taxes, thinking that they're owing. And I've done several taxes so far this year that the clients actually get money back. And because it's old, they will most likely not get their refund.
Yeah, because they let it get sucked up.
Yeah, it's past 3 years.
Wow. Oh, so it's past. Talk about that. So if it's past 3 years, what happened?
Behind, most likely you won't get the refund.
Why?
Because that's just how it is.
So
it was your fault. They give you 3 years to do your taxes. If you wait year 4 and then it comes back, most likely sometimes they don't give it to you.
Ouch.
But if you owe them, they'll go back 10 years.
Oh, you better. Sounds about right. Sounds like some typical government minutia.
Right.
So guys, it's important to get out there and file those taxes because, as Dr. Huey was sharing, the client thought that they owed taxes. You're not the expert on this stuff.
Right.
So go sit down and talk to somebody and find out what it really is, because you could imagine how that feels that you would have had money coming back to you that you probably had use for that money over the last 3 years. Now you waited 4 years and now you file it. Now you don't get nothing. Right. And the whole time you didn't file it because you were scared that you owed money.
Right. Wow. And if you owe, you always call a tax professional, because I have a lady right now. She called me. She's like, you were right. Once I did my taxes, I have a penalty. You can always work it out. the IRS just wants some of their money back. So you can always work it out. And I tell people, if you owe for 2024, change your W-2s so they can take out a little bit more money out of your W-2. So when you have to pay back, it won't hurt so hard, because sometimes you can get rid of one of the cup of coffee, because I buy the big bottle of coffee and I make my coffee for 30 days, no more than that, for 90 days with bottle of coffee. So there's ways that we're talking about wealth. There's ways you can save money and have that paycheck payment go to the IRS without you suffering or feeling it.
And honestly, when you break something down in a small amount, like you have them, I've even seen people do things like add an extra $25 per pay period or something like that. You're not going to miss that. And especially by the time they tax it and all the rest of it. I mean, come on. It's something you're going to get used to. But yeah, we absolutely gotta stay on top of that, because the IRS is always keeping track of those things. So having a tax strategy is very important. It is not a tax strategy to wait until your check stub comes in at the end of January, or wait for that W-2 and run to your tax preparer's office. That does not qualify as a tax strategy. You want to be deliberate about those things, because you also, I mean, I don't necessarily advocate for this, but if you typically get a refund and you struggle saving money, what do you think about the idea of doing that same thing that we just said? Like, okay, if I typically get maybe $2,000 back on a refund, and I just up my withholdings another $50 per pay period, so now I'm kicking in another $1,200 per year. So then I'm not going to get interest back on that money, but it's kind of like a savings account because I can't touch it. So until you file those taxes, what do you think about that as a strategy? Is that not a good idea? Or could that be a strategy?
Because some people are not strategic in what they do. Whenever you get a refund, that is money that the IRS is using and then giving it back to you. But most people, especially in the age of, we're not taught how to save and save effectively, like doing IULs instead of putting that money to the IRS, put it in the IUL. So, okay, I got $2,000 back this year. Next year, if things doesn't change, I may get back $2,100. Take that money, drop your lower your deductions on your W-4, and then you're able to put it in the IUL. But people like seeing the money right then and there. That's short-term gain. They're not seeing the long-term process of having an IUL or having some kind of vehicle to save that's gaining interest. Remember, your money from the IRS don't gain interest.
Yeah, that is very, very good point. Very good point.
Hi, Danita. Please like and share. Thank you for watching. Like and share. Remember, we're doing this. If one person hear us and do what they're supposed to do, that means we did what we came to do. Because remember, we were led by the Almighty for us to come here and let people know about some things that can help them. That's what we're here to help one person. Because remember, that one person will help somebody else. So thank you. Like and share.
Yes, please. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, invite your friends to join the conversation, because we really want to get a lot of different perspectives. We want people to join us so we can understand what people are thinking about in their homes and what's going on for them, because the subjects that we think about and the topics that we come up with, it may or may not resonate fully with you. So by all means, we want this to be something for the people, by the people. So let us know what's going on. So let's talk money a little bit. All right, can we talk a little bit of money?
Tax is money. What are you talking about?
Tax is money. Taxes. All right, cool. Tax is money.
You can get cash money and don't pay anything on it, but people don't understand. Like we're talking about when you get a refund. The refund that you get, that's your own money. That's not somebody else's money. That is your money that the IRS or the government use and sit in their big pot and skim off the interest from. When you get everybody, I'm getting a big refund, unless you're lying and doing those credits that you're not supposed to do. That's your money. And people don't look at it that way.
No, they should look at it that way, 100%. 100%. So the idea is really that you should not get a refund, and you should not. That's when you have a good tax strategy. You should be as close to zero as possible. Because you should planning what you're going to owe, etc. So I agree with you 100%. Other money news this week. So the Fed just cut the interest rates.
Oh wow! So I can buy me a investment property now.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. That matters for small business owners and
Mhm.
borrowers alike because when the Fed cuts the rates,
Mhm.
it's going to make the cost of money, the cost of loans, and the cost of lines of credit, it's going to make it cheaper.
Mhm.
So there's going to be more opportunities out there. You're going to see banks loosen up their lending requirements. You're going to
Mhm.
see money free up in the capital markets. So it's good. So it'll be a great chance to refinance some of that high interest debt. So uh, some good things going there. So what are your thoughts there?
With the interest rate, yeah, I guess. But sometimes when the interest rate falls, it's only affecting certain demographics. Certain people are being affected by it. Because if you're not buying a house, does it really, really help?
Well, it's going to affect the credit everywhere. So it's going to affect the interest rate that you're paying on your car loan, on your credit
Okay.
cards. So it's going to affect credit across the board. And so yeah, it does affect you. I mean, the bigger plays, yes, are like if you're making a substantial purchase,
Mhm.
investing in your business or a mortgage or things like that. But it's going to affect all of us across the board. Um, and cheap money is powerful. But you got to deploy it. Don't take advantage of the interest rates being lower and use that as a new excuse to buy 100 new pairs of shoes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I said that, didn't I? But let's use that. Let's leverage that. Let's leverage that cheap money, to invest in your business, to go ahead and make some plays on yourself. Start that business you've been thinking about starting, because the other thing, when the Fed cuts rates, it also means that all that money that is secured, like your savings accounts and things
Mhm.
like that, those rates are also going to go down.
Okay.
So if you just have money sitting in a savings account, that money is really not doing anything. So you really need to look at some other ways to deploy that. Probably have some conversations with your financial professionals
Mhm.
about that. But yeah, you gotta deploy it, and not a lifestyle upgrade, but actually deploy that into productive assets that can generate some money. So I would encourage everybody to kind of talk with your banker, your consultant, and kind of look at some of those. Look at what you have going on. Look at your mortgage. Look at your credit cards. Look
Mhm.
at some of those things and see if there's an opportunity for you to consolidate some of those
Yeah.
things, and possibly go ahead and get a lower payment and take advantage of that. But so the
And ladies, more shoes. He talking about we don't need. Yeah, we can get some more shoes. That we a
oh
woman
no.
will never have enough shoes. We're not walking that many places, but we always need shoes, Aaron. How
Well,
dare you?
no, listen. We have a rule in my house, so I'm okay with new shoes as long as we keep the new shoe to new gun ratio going in my house. No problem. So we count up the pairs of shoes that you have. We'll divide that by the number of guns I have, and so as long as that keeps going and growing at the same
Speed
exponential,
of life.
no problem, no problem. 10 new pair of shoes, one new rifle. I'm with it all day long.
Okay, I didn't know you were a gun enthusiast.
I am. I am. I am. I love to go to the range. I enjoy the challenge of shooting, and I think it's important that you should be able to protect yourself,
Yes, and your family.
and your family, of course. And yes, I teach. I've taught all my daughters how to shoot. All my sons know how to shoot. Yeah, very very important.
I think that's a very important skill for everybody to have right now with how things are. We're not saying violence is the advocate for everything, but be armed, not armed like with gun arm, but be armed with knowledge and be armed to protect yourself and your family. That's how it is going right now.
Oh, of course. I mean, come on, it's your family.
Yes.
This is your bloodline, your legacy. You have to. If you won't if you won't protect that, then what
But
is worth protecting? What is important enough for you?
right.
So yeah. So last week we did not get a chance to talk about our book of the month. So we got a new
I
book
was
of the
going to
month.
ask you that.
Were
What was
you?
the book? Yes, I was going to ask you
Ah
what's the
man.
book because I need to get a book. I'm studying for the EA, so I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really been studying, but I need to be studying that book. But right now, with the way things are, I want something that's a little bit lighthearted, even though it's going to teach us a lesson.
Sure.
So, what are you reading, Aaron?
Yeah. So I'm reading Atomic Habits
Okay.
by James Clear. So have you heard of it?
No.
Oh man,
I'm gonna get it.
get it. It's so good. I wish I would have read it a long time ago. I've heard
Really?
people comment about it, but it just kind of focuses on just how to change your habits, how to identify your habits, and more so just kind of helps you with practical knowledge on how to improve. Like for example, habit stacking is one of the things that they reference in the book. So habit stacking is when you add something that you maybe don't want to do along with something that you do want to do, or you just add something else to your routine. Like when you get up in the morning and whatever your routine is, I'm sure all of us have a routine. You swing your feet down, maybe you say a prayer, you go in there, you brush your teeth, you splash some water on your face.
Splash, Eric, splash. You got to do the 5. You got to get the moisturizer and the gentle wash.
See, everybody has their routine.
It's a lot of.
I thought that comes after you go to the gym and work out. You do all of that. So I'm splashing and I'm going to work out, and then I'm gonna go try to exfoliate and do all of that stuff. But to the point, you have a routine. Okay. And so when you have something that's important to add to your routine, it helps when you just stack those things up. And it was talking about one of the things I thought was really nice, or that really resonated with me was when you're trying to change a bad habit, make it inconvenient.
Okay.
So make it inconvenient, and also you kind of program yourself to kind of think about that. Like, for example, if you smoke by chance,
No.
I know you don't, but that's a habit that a lot of people have that they're looking to kick and things like that. But make it inconvenient. Talk to yourself about it, like and don't think about it from the standpoint of, yes, you feel like you're getting temporary relief from that cigarette, but think about
the long-term effect.
Exactly. So think about, I want to be here for my great grandchildren. So maybe I don't want to stop smoking enough because I don't want people to say that, I smell funny when I come in or from somewhere or when I walk into a meeting. But the fact of the grandchildren, perhaps that's enough of a motivation to do that. Or like, for example, improving working out. And so you're saying a lot of times that people will try to go too hard, too fast.
Right.
Burned out. They get burned out. Oh, I want to run a marathon. Well, you ain't got up off the couch in 2 years. So, I mean, that's very admirable that you want to get to that point. But it was just saying, start with a smaller goal. Like, so start with lacing up your running shoes, because some of those things kind of become automatic. Like if you think about it, like if you get to the point where you lace up the shoes, well, I'm gonna walk out the door for sure. I put the shoes on, like, we can do that. So it was just kind of talking about some of those things to kind of set yourself up for success, and kind of just being able to implement those in that way. So man, I could talk about this all day long. Like, I've been loving this book because there's a lot of really good chapters and different ways to apply this to your life, and like you really can, like step by step, like how could I do this? Like, for one thing, like I was thinking, chapter 3 was talking about the habit loop. So how when you you see the cue for this habit, you crave it, and then the response, and then the reward. But it was talking about that the anticipation of the reward is actually what makes us get that endorphin spike. Like when they tested that, like with people who gamble, you would think that they would get the endorphin spike when they win a big bet. Oh man, hey, I won $1,000. I won $10,000. No, they get the endorphin hit when they place the bet. It's the thought of that reward. So like same thing, like with anything else, like with sex or drugs or anything like that. It's like the thought of that is kind of what actually, sparks that. So just learning to
make it inconvenient. Like in the morning time, I hate waking up. I will go late, but hate waking up in the morning. So what I do is I put my cell phone across the bedroom. Okay. So it has to, I have to get up, because if not, it's like, dee. So I'm trying to build the habit, and I have 2 phones that are synchronous 1 minute in between one another. So I'm going to have to get up. One is in the bathroom and one is across the bed, because like when your body hit that 4 o'clock and you get up and use the restroom, the next hour sleep is like the best sleep.
Yeah. And but you know what? You did one of the habits, one of the things they said to do in the book. You made it inconvenient.
Inconvenient.
Yes, because in order for you to sit there, in order for you to ignore two phones doing ding ding, all these different noises or
Yes.
whatever. So yeah, you made it inconvenient for you
Right.
to sleep in. So so you want to build systems, not just goals.
Right.
Because if you build the systems, the goals will somewhat take care of themselves, because you'll kind of get on the right path. When you build the right system, it's going to encourage the right behaviors. Just like in your business, when you have the right systems in place, it encourages the right behaviors, makes it easier to follow.
Yeah, my pastor, the phrase for this year in the beginning of 2025 was be consistent. Be consistent. And then the second half of the year, he said, be consistent and do good. So being consistent at doing things nice and doing things for other people, if you're consistent in that way, it trickles down. And right, what the world need right now is nice people. There's so many mean and ugly people right now.
True.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Selfish.
things that's happening. Like, with the little boy. I know we don't want to get off target, but the little boy, young guy that was found hanging at the university, that was an ugly thing.
Yeah.
The young lady, moment of silence that was stabbed on the train. It's like we're not safe anymore. It's like the mental illness is so rampant. That's why we talk about the wealth code. Wealth means more than just money. It means having, self good thoughts, like having mental health as part of that wealth part. And that's why we
Mental
talk
health,
about mental health, physical health,
finances,
financial
spiritual
health.
health. Like, yes, you
Yeah, the five things
got to
that we
balance.
need.
Got to be balanced for sure.
Because when it's not balanced out, I can feel it. I know my energy in my body shift. Like when I wasn't working out, I felt sluggish and lazy. And when I put on my clothes, I'd be like, oh, the Shannon, this is not you. But I had the money, but that part was lacking. And now sometimes when the money's down, but this part is up there, you're like, okay, I'm working out now. I'm missing the money. So everything has to be balanced. And, you have to spend the spiritual part. We're not saying being Christian, and we're talking about spiritual, being able to look inside of you without any, listening to that little voice that's inside of your head. Because mental illness is real. There's a lot of stuff going on in this evil world.
Oh yeah, for sure. People are under constant pressure and stress. We don't really talk about it, but people, I mean, all day, just it's stressful. There's people don't make they're struggling to make enough money to make ends meet. They're struggling to take care of their family. They're struggling to take care of the children. They're struggling to just do all these different things. So there's a lot of pressure out there. So yeah, please call somebody if you need to talk to somebody. Please reach out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you gotta live a balanced life. You have to live a balanced life, and when you work on those different areas of your life, it allows for you to get more to a sense of balance.
Right.
Because when you're out of balance, it's just not a good place. Like you said, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy and you can't get up and you can't move around, you can't climb a flight of stairs without running out of breath. Come on now, that's not good living.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I mean, we see people go to different extremes on all of those. Like you can go on the extreme on all of them. I mean, all of us probably have that one friend that probably work out a little bit too much. Like I have a friend, I'm not going to say his name on the show, but he have completed the gym. He does not need to go to the gym ever again. He have completed the gym. There's nothing left to do. He can damn near lift the whole building. He looks great, in great shape, all the rest of it. But you got to make sure that you take care of those other parts of your life. You know what I'm saying? Those relationships, those friendships, that spirituality, that mental health, and all the rest of it. So how do you balance those, you know what I'm saying, with those different aspects of things, and all of that being important to unlocking the wealth code, which is being the best possible version of yourself, physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally? How do you do that?
I set up my week in advance. Like I have a routine. I'm consistent. Like Sunday, I get my clothes ready for the whole week. That is so crazy. And I make it a theme. Like today I had on green and white polka dot. Yesterday I had on red and white polka dot. The day before blue. So I have a system and I prioritize things. I do not work out at my home. My home is not a gym. I go to the gym and work out. And I say, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, I go to the gym. So I compartmentalize everything that I do. On Sunday, I'm going to church and I'm cooking. On the second Sunday, I'm going to the bingos. On the third, I'm doing a facial. So I set up my calendar for the whole month of what I'm going to do.
For the whole month?
For the whole month, what I'm going to do. Yeah, so I usually have it with me. The first Sunday, I go to bingo. The second Sunday, I get a Saturday or Sunday of the week, I get a facial. And the next is my nail, feet, and eyebrow. So I set up my life and I'm consistent in what I do. And Friday is my rest day. Once I'm finished with work, I turn off my phone. Like Aaron said, where's your real phone number? Because I shut down my phone. And then when I'm studying, I will take maybe 6 to 7 o'clock is when I study. But I set up my planner for the whole month of whatever I'm going to do.
Yeah,
that's how I keep it consistent.
It's very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart. I haven't really heard nobody getting a whole month. I've seen people do a week, but that's wow. No, that's awesome. And so reward consistency, not just outcomes, because of the fact that you do that. There's some things that you don't have to stress about because you got your, what you're gonna wear, what you're gonna, these different things. So yeah, that's a great tip. That's a great tip. I would say, my tip would probably be just to man, do I even have one? That's I try to be conscious of that, of the different areas of it.
So what do you do for spirituality? Like what routine do you do?
Okay, so first thing in the morning, when I get up, after my feet touch the ground, me and the big guy have a conversation.
Okay.
So after I talk to him every morning, I ask him to direct my path and just help me out on my day. Then I go ahead and work out.
So you have a routine. So what you do physically, you what?
Sure.
You work out.
Oh yeah. I get up and take me a nice little walk, about 4 hours. I'm gonna get to the point where I could jog it one day. Not there yet. But yeah, absolutely. I go do that. After I get back from my walk, I have a nice cup of tea, a cup of coffee. And during my walk, I collect my thoughts and I meditate and I think about what I have to do and what are my responsibilities that day, what's important. And when I get home, I write my list of the things that I need my attention for the day. I prioritize them. I take a shower and get fresh and get to it.
What about financial? What do you do? Because when I get paid, every paycheck, I take $100 away. It doesn't matter how much, if I get paid $1 or $5,000, anytime I get any money, I take $100 and put it away for me. Either I buy something for myself or I put it away. I'll say, okay, this week I have enough. Next week, when me putting that $100 away. What do you do financially to say it's about Aaron, just about Aaron?
Yeah. Well, I put 25% away.
Okay.
So yeah, I just want to make sure that you have some money for a rainy day. So just tuck that up, and I do that off top. I mean, I might add more to that or do different things, but I just try to do that off top so that way, just we're trending in the right direction. I do that on my business side and on the personal side, because stuff happens. Stuff happens.
So what you do for mental health?
I do a whole lot of praying, man. I call on the good Lord a lot. But I think exercise helps with mental health as well. I do a lot of reading. I talk. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be the type of person who's gonna hold stuff in and it's gonna build up and something's gonna happen. Now I'm gonna let you hold something ASAP. Like as soon as as soon as I know something. Well, I do play pool. So I'm in a pool league. So I do that.
I play pool. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, Charlie's. I go to Charlie's, and my son is right across from the office.
From the office.
Yes, I play pool, and my son takes me. We used to go at least once a month and play pool, and we usually go once a month and shoot the guns. But things have, I used to be right across Charlie on a Friday night or a Saturday night shooting pool.
Yeah,
I love pool.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's cool. Yeah, I play in the league. We play on Tuesday nights in Forest Park. But yeah, that's I love it. I love pool, bowling, darts, golf, going to the gun range. Like I'm with all of that for sure, for sure.
So you do have a routine. See, he didn't realize that he had a routine, even though it's not put down on paper. Mentally, he has a routine because he's like, I do this on Tuesday. I do just like me. I have my month set out. Sometimes I'll tweak it a little, but it has to be something really, really big. And you know what? Also, keeping those 5 things together, learning how to say no. Remember, you have that book. Learning how to say no has really become helpful in my journey of staying consistent or being consistent. Because when you're in certain area, people try to pull pieces off of you. And when they're trying to pull pieces off of you, you don't have enough for yourself. So my biggest thing for this year was learning how to say no, regardless of who it hurts. Because at the end of the day, I see sometimes I go out 100% for people that don't go out 100% for you. And then you was like, oh, I wish that. But I always think in my head, would they do this for me if they had to do this? And then I have to realize you have to put yourself first. So learning how to say no has freed up some of my plate, so it has become more balanced.
There was like twice this week that really stuck out to me. I had a good friend of mine. He called me and asked me to help him out with something. We have a junk removal company, but he's my friend. I wanted to go help him, so I just put on some jeans and drive the junk truck over there and etc. And I was getting ready to go do it, and he said, "Hey, listen, we can't do it right now. We got to reschedule that." And then I stopped and I said, you know what?
You was all gung ho.
I was. And then I said, you know what, bro? I said, it's cool. I said, I'm actually going to have one of the guys come get it. I said, that's really not a good use of my time. I wanted to do it because it's you. I wanted to help you out. I figured it'd be a good time to see you, say hello, catch up. But that's really not a good use of my time. You know what I'm saying? I could send one of the folks over there to make sure that you get squared away, make sure you get taken care of. But I had that happen, a couple times, and sometimes people can take a little bit of offense to that. Think you're being some kind of way, like, I mean, I just said I can't do it now, so now you're not gonna do it at all. Like, no, it's not that. It's just that wasn't a good use of my time, and I have to learn how to say no to good so I can say yes to great, because there's only so many hours in the day. And it's like, okay, so let me think about this. So now, if I was to drive over there and help my friend, from where I live to my office where I pick up the dump truck, it's about 40 minutes. And it's about another 40 minutes to go to where he lives. And then maybe it takes us 30, 40 minutes to load the truck up. So we're at 90 minutes already. Now I got to drive back, do the same thing. So we're at 180 minutes. So we're at 3 hours for me to do something that I could have just put on the route for one of the guys to go ahead and take care of. And then plus, more importantly, is those are 3 hours that I have that I could have been spending on something that's in my core business and my core focus, So I had that come up a couple times, and I think people thought I was being funny with them. Like when I said, "Hey, listen, let's schedule this call. Let's go ahead and let's put that on the calendar." Like, oh, who does he think he is?
Aaron.
Yes, Aaron, the guy who wants to stay organized and get things done, and and letting those distractions in, no matter how well intentioned. I actually took a phone call today. It was an unprompted phone call. I should have pressed decline. I answered the call. It wasn't scheduled, and this person took me into a whole conversation, and it took my day in a whole different direction. And I was like, you know what? Stick to your rules, stick to your principles. I block off a lot of time on Thursday. On Thursday, I do follow-up stuff, and I don't do much because we're coming in here and the time comes so fast. So it's like before I know it, it's time to get in the studio, drive over here. So I really try to let my day be light on Thursday. So just to have a nice relaxing day. So hey, I just want to remind you guys, you're listening to the Wealth Code Unlocked live on iHeartRadio. We're here every Thursday for you, 6 p.m. Eastern time to 7 p.m. We're here to answer your questions about the Wealth Code and help you unlock that one combination at a time. How
can they reach you?
Absolutely. So you can reach me at carconsulting.us. From carconsulting.us, you can go ahead and just schedule a appointment and get on my calendar. You can reach me on Instagram, CARR_consulting. Please send me a DM. You can reply to any of these messages where you're watching the videos or whatnot. And those are some simple ways. You always can call me at 478-740-4045. 478-740-4045. I got to remember that number. It's a tough one. But yeah, so those are some ways to get in touch with me. Dr. Huey, how can folks get in touch with you?
You can just type in my name on Google, SHANANN, last name HUIE. My phone number is 404-791-8840 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now I'm doing TikTok. You got to get with the time. Is Shannon Huey on all of them. I'm the tax diva, and we are talking about the wealth code unlock, where we're talking about what's going on right now, how to save money, how to implement some strategies. Mr. Carr told you about some strategy putting away. We talk about putting away for a rainy day. We're talking about adjusting your W-4s and your W-2s for the upcoming year. When you get a little bit of money from your income tax, it's your money and nobody's telling what to do with it. Take 25% and invest it in yourself, invest it in a new business, invest it in something that's going to make you have a better tomorrow. So that's what we're talking about.
Yes. And just as we wrap up here, so there's two takeaways that I wanted to leave with everybody. One of the things that was a big takeaway from this book is just try to improve 1% every single day. Right. Just 1%. That leads to monumental changes over time, but 1% is not going to kill you. Yep. So you getting up and walking 10 minutes is not going to kill you. No. So if you improve that and you make that 10 minutes and 30 seconds tomorrow and you go a little bit further, you're going to be farther along on your goals. So I would encourage everybody to do that. Just look at getting 1% better at the end of the year. If you had a 300% improvement, that's huge. That's 3 times better than whatever you're doing right now if you just improve 1% per day.
Yeah, because I started weightlifting, and I think 3 months ago, I was lifting maybe 75 pounds. And I think I'm at 150 now. I'm actually pushing it. And I have my videos that will be coming out showing you that I'm working out and building. And like I said, Aaron, look at the muscles. Yes, wealth is everything. Wealth is health. And the most important thing is not about the money. It's about what you do for other people and the love and care and respect that come back to you. We're here to help you wherever you need or hear our voice. We're bringing in people from the community that's adding value and not taking away. So
can I add one last thing before we get up out of here today? One last thing. It's almost time for us to get out of here. But last week, Mr. Thomas was here with us, and he was sharing about a referral that he had sent over. So I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to put their business out there. But he sent over a referral. It was a client who has a new business. They're building this new business fast, but it's challenging because they got to deploy money back into the business to grow it, to buy equipment, and to finance things. And so we were able to put together a facility where we're able to put a line of credit in place for them without having 2 years in business. And then we also were able to put a factoring facility in place to speed up their accounts receivable. So short of that is he had $70,000 in monies that was owed to him for work that was already done. By us factoring that, we were able to, in essence, turn that $70,000 that was owed to him into a $63,000 direct deposit now. And then now going forward, when he finishes doing work, he can send that invoice in and he can get advanced 90% of that. So that he's able to have the cash to keep running his business. So I just thought that was a great moment to share because, sometimes we have assets that we don't know of. So once again, thank you for joining us on the Wealth Code Unlocked. AC, the money guy.
And Dr. Shannon Huey, we're moving the combination one number at a time to unlock the wealth code so we can have generational wealth for our kids and beyond. Have a great, 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 great night.
Tip play. Yeah, there you go. It's cool.
The guy came?
No. He said he works on his PhD. Right? That's right, yeah.
Okay.
He works on his PhD. Rachel, y'all sound good.
Yeah, we get more.
Could you hear Dr. Huey okay? I looked over at the microphone a couple times and it looked kind of low. So
no, I heard her. She sounded really loud.
Oh, we gotta stop this other recording.
Hit that. Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Because I could go in and delete the other part of it.
Okay.
And I can save that and run that do after week. So we run like the old shows throughout the week with other shows.
Good.
Yeah, like we take the old shows and just run them like maybe